Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Challenging Chats with Dev and Steph. Today we're going to talk about the shouldn't be so controversial subject, unless you're under the age of 16, then maybe it is controversial. But of whether or not social media is good for kids. Is social media good for kids?
Or bad for kids, really.
Bad for kids, I should say. Yeah, is social media bad for kids? That's definitely
because you bringing this up because
I'm bringing this up because there's a story that just hit. Oh, and there's a Carlos
Stop, just keep going.
that just is going
Even
on.
worse.
Anyways, there's a story that just hit the news that I saw this morning about how in Australia they're looking to ban social media use for users under the age of 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a fantastic idea.
I don't know how they would do it.
I don't know how you do it either, right?
Well, that's not the question that we're talking about.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Just check off the
I don't know how that works.
It's going to be like all the former adult websites for kids where they would be
So
like,
why do you think it's a
18.
good thing?
So anyways, why do we think it's a good thing? Why do I think it's a good thing? Well, first off, I think you know what? What were we watching a while back about how like the school system right now is not built for young boys, and I know that's
short for as the psychologist.
completely off topic, kind of, but not really, because
She said it's not suited for boys or girls, but it's especially detrimental to the nature of boys.
Yeah, it's detrimental to nature of boys. But then she talked about girls, and she talked about like how there's so much pressure on them, and how they're like, by the time they're teenagers, like just everything is huge. And we actually see this with our daughter, like a lot of things that should not be a big deal are a big deal. And I feel like social media just amps up.
Yeah, I would say, like, in what way, just in general for society, has social media improved our quality of life?
We get to keep
the
in
moral
touch people
fiber
far away.
Better. Our society, right? There's, yeah, I don't have a lot of good things to say about the vast majority of not only social media, but media in general. And I don't mean news. I mean music and just entertainment. It's not great. It's not
Also,
great.
it's gone to the pooper.
Right. And if you think about how impressionable children are, they're little sponges. They're soaking in information. So even if you're not hearing a certain thing, right? So even if you're not watching something that says, hey, dress sexy, and that makes you desirable and beautiful to a 10-year-old, the person that is showing themselves, is put up as this person to be like, is dressing in a certain way and acting in a certain way and talking in there's just so much. And these young minds are like soaking all of this in. And this isn't just like opinion. They're like showing
it's fact.
How, suicide rates have gone through the roof. In like 12 and 13-year-olds, right? And just so much that's just awful and terrible. It's a hard enough age to like, we're talking about, like middle school especially. It's a hard enough age because you're going through puberty, you're figuring out who you are. Like, it's this whole thing.
Well, and the thing that kids struggle with, just that we know scientifically, they struggle with the ability to separate the value of an opinion from the opinion, right? So what I mean by that is, like we had like our son, we've had our son and our daughter both come home from school different times upset about what somebody else said, and we're like, why? My whole thing is like, why does it matter that like their opinion? And so I taught my daughter, we've taught them to say your opinion doesn't matter. And when they say something mean to my kids, I throw in the
you double down. You go a little.
I go a little extra.
But I think teaching them opinion doesn't matter.
But it's
important.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Like kids have a rough time separating the fact that just someone's opinion. It's just their opinion. It's not. They have a rough time taking in information and being like, yeah, it's not really. They don't, because they're young and they're immature. They don't have the ability to filter through useless information like we do. We can just look at
or
stuff
to
and just be
protect
like spam,
themselves in general.
spam. You know,
I mean, we're talking about granting your young child, however old they are, right? In this case, Australia is saying younger than 16, granting the world, and I do mean the entire world, access to your child.
Access to the world.
Just access to influence them, to talk to them, to prey upon them, right? That's what that's the downside to internet and media and social media and all this stuff, right? There was so much good, yeah, but in its time and its place with people who can handle it properly. I mean,
there's been that uptick in bullying online.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like,
and I don't have the
everybody
patience
from
for
our
it.
everybody from our generation doesn't understand it because they're like, just turn the computer off, just turn the phone off or whatever. But for them, that would be like turning off life because that's what they equate it to. However, if they never get involved, and you see this too, like I've seen it with my cousin's kids, and with I think with our kids too, is like kids who never get involved in social media, so much healthier.
Yeah. And they're not consumed with just stupid stuff. Like I'm all for, like, we enjoy having fun. We do a lot of different stuff with our kids. I like being silly. Like, it's none of that. It's not like telling our kids they have to be grown-ups or something. But, just the sheer amount of stupidity that I see on TikTok, and kids just wanting to, because you see a lot of the trends, like do this dance or do this, eat soap, like just dumb, just truly, truly ignorance. And kids are like, woo, fun, let's use, and they waste some, and I can't with it. I don't understand it. Like, we regulate our children's intake of media completely, 100%. Like, and I unashamedly, if they need therapy one day because I did that, then you know what? Therapy's good for us. It's fine.
When I was a kid, my mom, we went through a season where my mom did not let us watch. I would say she didn't let us watch TV. She didn't let us have cable. We got rid of cable. So the house that we live in now is my house from when I was a kid. And then we had moved to another house. And so, but this is our first house. When I was a kid, so my life has come full circle. But when we were kids here, you're really early on, we had cable. I think like everybody, we had Disney Channel, all that, and we moved to a larger home. We had cable for a little bit, and I remember coming home every day. I had like my shows that I would watch. And then my mom, I guess she picked up on the trend that we were watching a lot of TV. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, nope, you're not watching TV. You can, and so she got rid of cable, which I thought, joke's on you. We're still going to watch TV. We just can't watch cable. So we'd watch that. But, oh man, it was, but I realized that the regulation of the intake of what you're
doing your job. You're safeguarding your kids. And again,
and then you encourage too, with that, you encourage play. You don't see a lot of kids outside playing anymore.
Seriously.
We were always outside playing.
And this is like, our kids can watch TV. They have iPads from school. Actually, both of our children have phones now. Right. So again, this isn't communication purposes. This isn't us saying we're anti all of these things, and if you use it, it's the devil or whatever. No. We're just saying, why are you giving access to all of this craziness in the world, right? Like, I think we can all agree there is some real craziness out there.
Yeah, if you can't agree, you are crazy.
Impressionable mind, when it is your responsibility to help this child and protect them from all of that, right? Yeah. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. This is one that I'll offend everybody. I don't care, because I've seen too many kids really get traumatized and messed up and like all this stuff because nobody's around to be like, no, that's not good for you.
So
it's
what?
not. It's
so
not
what
good
are
for
the
you.
so what are the alternatives to them being on social media? See, I feel like
How about having friends?
yeah,
Right?
that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
how about play dates? Like, and this is coming from, I don't like going to play dates with my children because I'm not a terribly social person, right? Like, there's certain people that I really enjoy talking to, and then other people it takes a long time. So play dates, it's like once every so often. So it's a little bit harder to find like a true comfort level with these parents that I'm meeting up with. But my kids want to have these friends. And I'm like, this is good. Human interaction's a great thing. Like it doesn't, I think if you're foisting your kids off onto social media and TV and all this other stuff all the time, you're dropping the ball. You're definitely dropping the ball because you're giving the amount of influence that you have over to everything that you can't regulate, right? Like it's really hard if you're letting them on TikTok, like it's hard to truly. I mean, there's some things now where they're letting you regulate, but even then, it's really hard, especially if you have a smart kid.
And the whole
there's just so much that I'm like
the whole always consuming stifles creativity. If you're always
let your kids be bored.
If you're only consuming
they'll
media,
get up to they'll do
you're gonna
something,
stifle creativity. So yeah,
I don't know. And again, I think
I think it's actually better for kids to create media instead of consume it. So
yeah, but I mean, I don't see the good in it. I think that's me. It's like, what's the good? What's the benefit that you as a parent in raising your child is with? And I guess the whole point of this one is truly social media because that's, it's its own thing. But like, what is it? Like, why are you letting them on there? What are they gaining? Because it's not good people skills. It's not that.
No.
It's not truth because there's so much ridiculous running around. It's not safety because there's a lot of crazy people that go on. I mean, they've proven this over and over and over and over again how much children are targeted on these sites, right? And going into their messages to pretend like they're kids and befriend these young kids. Anyway, it's crazy, right? So it's not that, so it's not a good self-image because everything on there is doing the exact opposite. So again, what
benefits are minimal,
except that maybe your kid is pitching a fit and they want it because everybody else has it, and you'd rather just give it to them.
I think the only real benefit is that your kid is distracted, so you feel like you can just do whatever you need to do.
Sure.
It's like that's like TV. It's easy for us.
It's easy.
When the kids
when
watch
I want
TV,
a nap, I'm like, hey, this is your time. This is
so
your time to watch.
And
you have very specific things you can watch, and that's it. But social media, and if we're just talking social media, nope. My kids won't have it till, I don't know, who knows when.
Probably
be a very long time before I'm like, yes. And then even when they have it, I will have complete access. I will see everything that you post, everything that everybody else I will see everything. I will see it all. Because there's
godlike control.
No stinking way that I'm just going to be like, oh, yes, you're 16 and fully mature. Your brain's fully developed and you're making good decisions 24/7. Let me go ahead and just give you free reign in the world of social media.
Such a different world.
No, thank you.
There was no social media.
You best believe.
There was about instant messenger and texting. That was about as social media as it got back then. But anyways, well, hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, go ahead and give us a like. If you didn't, give Stephanie a big dislike.
Social media is bad for kids.
If you agree social media is no bueno,
perhaps there's an
if
argument.
you think the Australians may be doing something right, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Until next time, I'm Devin.
And I'm Stephanie.
Adios.
Bye.